Hi everyone, my name is Steve. I work in the Alibaba Cloud Overseas Training and Empowerment team. Today, I will present the topic, Create Powerful Reports Using Data Visualization with QuickBI. Just a quick reminder, before we start, you can submit your questions through the text box during my presentation, and I will answer all the questions after my presentation. Okay, let's get started. This is today's outline. At the very beginning, I will introduce some background about graphic reports. Sometimes we call them business intelligence. Then I will give you some highlights about the features the QuickBI can provide and some internal components of QuickBI. Then I will show some very commonly used charts in QuickBI to go through them one by one, so you can have a very clear understanding what QuickBI can provide. And at the very end, I will do an end-to-end demo to show you how to upload the data and generate the data sets, and finally create some customized dashboard. Talking about the data intelligence, we know in our daily life, we generate a lot of reports. The reports including some tables, some charts, just like I shown on this slides. On the left side, you may have your financial report being reported monthly, and the right part is just a curved line to show how the stock price is changing during the first day Alibaba is go public. So reports is a very common use way to help us to gain the business intelligence. But the problem is recently, nowadays, data visualization is becoming more and more important, but also more and more complex, because now the data is even bigger, because we are now entering an era of big data. All the data is accumulated and collected in the cloud and in some big database and even some data warehouse. How can we organize those data and generate the visualized charts becoming a real problem? So the QuickBI is generated to solve this kind of problem for you. Again, just take these two pictures as an example. We can use the QuickBI to generate very colorful and very comprehensive charts to help your audience to understand your problem and help them to better solve their business issues. Definitely, there are two common chart use cases. The first one is very obvious. We use the charts to display data because we want to our audience to get a very direct understanding about the deep meaning of your data. If you just put it in the plain text, it's really hard for the audience to quickly get the meaningful insights from the data directly. But we do have another more important purpose, is to through the data visualization or business intelligence, to do the data analysis, because it's not about just showing the data, it's about we want to dig deeper and find the insights of this data so that we can use those kind of insights to help us to make more correct and more clever business decision. What makes a good chart? Definitely, there are some key points you want to master. The first one is very straightforward. Definitely, your chart should be intuitive, easily understood, and matches needs. And the second one is you cannot include everything you want to include in the chart. You need to think about what is the key information I want to deliver, which is the key information I want to present to my audience. So definitely think about that, what kind of short but key information you want to put in your chart. Then the third one is also the very important one. Choose a suitable display. You don't want to show a trend like data to use a pie chart, right? It's definitely not suitable. Always think about which chart and is more suitable to represent what kind of data. And definitely in this course, I will show you all those kind of commonly used chart and their advantage and disadvantage. Then you can have a better understanding about what is called the suitable display. And the last one is a good video effects. Usually we don't recommend you to use too much autonomous or too much colorful stuff in your chart. Just show them the key information and use 2 or 3 different color to present the difference. That's enough. Okay, we have a background about what is business intelligence is aiming to solve, and what's basic key point to design a very good visible charts. Then let's look into the QuickBI itself to see some kind of highlight features. QuickBI is definitely one product in our big data product portfolio. It supports real-time online analysis of massive data. The operation is really simple. You don't even need to type in any programming lines or coding. You just drag and drop, do those kind of very simple operations, and you can very quickly gain visualization effects. So definitely the purpose of QuickBI is to help you easily analyze and deeply understand your business data. So our goal is quite simple, right? By using QuickBI, we are hoping that everyone can be a data analyst. I summarized 4 key features of QuickBI. The first one is flexible. The flexible means you can use many kind of data source to be the input of the QuickBI. It supports many data source types, including CVS, Excel, those very common single node file, and also it can support the most common used data source in the Alibaba Cloud, like MySQL, like Max Compute, those kind of input. And it's very fast. It's very fast. It means you don't need to compare with. You don't compare with some single computer software. Because in the cloud, every data is so big, it requires the QuickBI can handle those kind of mass data and generates the chart in several seconds. And it's secure. This feature is about how to share data. We provide the capability to granular control your data management, like what kind of user you want to share to, you want to make your dashboard public or private. We have all those kind of very detailed policies can be defined to protect your data, to maintain it in a sustainable mode. And the last one, we call them economic, because QuickBI was totally built on the cloud, and it consumes less resource through the cloud computing technology. So you don't need to worry about, by using QuickBI, you may spend more money on the data analysis and processing. This picture shows the whole inside of the components of the QuickBI. Again, from the left side, you can see we support several data sources. And for our common users, you may only care about the design portal, the data portal, and the model designer, also the dashboard. Those are the user interface you will see from the QuickBI interface. And what we usually won't touch is some internal component like the super engine and the intelligent engine. Those will be the one is working internally to help the QuickBI to understand the table in a more smart way, right? Sometimes you just enter your raw data and the QuickBI will do the analysis to find out which one is the matrix, which one is the measurement, and which one is the dimension. Those will be all the intelligent engine will do. Definitely we have the security control and some organization management features. But how and what is the position of the QuickBI in our Alibaba Cloud big data portfolio? Again, you can see here for the left part, Usually in the Alibaba Cloud Big Data platform, we can take most of the common used data source and the input. Then we drag them into our big data processing engine, just like the max compute, like some OLAP processing. And the last one, what we do about the offline data, usually we want to dig into the data itself and find the meaningful insights. That's how the QuickBI is positioning itself. It's sitting here like do the report display and data analysis, and finally it's using the portal integration, those kind of features to show the data to the customer. Okay, now we know the QuickBI's key features and its positioning in the big data portfolio. But if you want to master the operation of the QuickBI, there are only 5 steps you need to understand. If you understand the sequence of the 5 steps, you will begin to master the QuickBI operations very quickly. So in today's course, we have 5 steps, but I will focus on the step 1, step 2, and step 4. But I will still introduce every step to help you to understand better about the QuickBI designing. Firstly, definitely you need to sign up for the QuickBI, right? The account you're going to use is still the Alibaba Cloud account. And after you log on to the console, you can go to the dashboard, you can go to the panel to choose a product like QuickBI. Then the second step you need to do is to import the data. Definitely without any data, you cannot do anything, right? So now you need to decide what kind of data source I want to choose, and maybe a local file, maybe from the RDS. Then you define your data source, you begin to upload the local data, all those kind of cloud data to QuickBI to generate, we call them the data set. After you have your data set, QuickBI will defaultly decide which data will become your, the measures and which will be your dimension. But sometimes you don't think it's correct. You may want to do some small adjustment for the default values and setup. You can use the table analysis to edit those kind of dimension directly. Then the fourth one is also the most important one is, now you have your data set, you have already decided your measures and your dimensions. Now you want to really generate some graph, right? Generate some charts. So the last one is using our dashboard or using our portal to begin to generate some charts. Then finally, and I mentioned previously, you have your charts defined and generated. Now you want to share it. You want others to be able to see it, right? You want to bring values to others. So the last step is how to publish your application. It's just very quick. It's just one click to be able to get your URL. If you set the access authentication very correctly, you can get the URL distributed, and everyone else can see your dashboard in just several seconds. Okay, now let's look into some very common used charts and have a very quick go through. It will help you to understand all the elements in the QuickBI later on when I will do the demo for you. Actually, I listed 15 kinds of the common used charts here. I will go through them one by one. Column charts. I believe this is the most common one when we use the data processing. Definitely, we use the length of the rectangles to show the values. A number of the vertical columns with different heights are used to show the data distribution. Let's take some examples here. The first one is a very basic, very classic column chart. You can see the horizontal direction. We are using the different age to present it, and we may want to track through the different age. My boy or my girl maybe have the different weight, right? I just using a different rectangle to show the weight. But maybe weight is not enough. You want to add another matrix like the height. Just put the two columns. We call them the grouped column chart. You can have a very clear comparison between the two measurements. We also have a kind of column chart called a stacked chart. You can just ask the QuickBI to summarize or to add the two values together and to show them in one rectangle but with a different color. And the percentage stack chart, every rectangle has the same height but using the different ratio to show the different measurements. And this one is also a very useful one. We call them a double y-axis column chart, because for weight and height, maybe they are using the different units to present the values. So put them into the different y-axis. It's more meaningful. So you can do a better comparison between the two metrics. And the last one, you can just turn the column chart to the horizontal direction to turn it into a bar chart. It's based on the different purpose or your personal usage. So advantage of the column chart definitely is very clear. Based by using a different color, it can give you a very clear comparison step by step. But the disadvantage is also very obvious, right? Because when you are using a column chart, you cannot give too many. You cannot have set too many points in the dimension. It will make it looks a little bit messy. Line chart. It's quite similar like the column chart to me, right? Because if you use as many and column as you can and connect each column together, you get a line chart, right? For line chart, sometimes we'll call them the broken line graph. And some examples is very clear like this. We can just draw a line and connect each point with a straight line. But sometimes you don't like the line chart, don't like the straight. You can just make it a little bit curved to look smooth. And you can also compare two different metrics in one line chart. You can also use the double y-axis chart, right? And also you can fill the empty area to make it look more solid. And also the last one is just like the stacked column chart. You can just add the two measurements together and draw a different line. Pie chart is even I don't need to explain. It's so commonly used, and the advantage to use a pie chart is quite simple, right? It can clearly show the percentage of the different components, but it do have some disadvantage. Definitely, you cannot use it to show some very big data sets because you will got too many components and make each of them cannot be seen very clearly. And definitely the negative values cannot be shown. And if some of the components has a very similar percentage, it's a little bit harder for us to tell the difference through our eyes. And QuickBI supports three kinds of the format of the pie chart. The first one is a two-dimension, commonly pie chart. And the second one, we call them a donut chart. We can just make it the middle is a hollow, and we call them a donut chart. And we can turn it into a 3D pie chart. It looks more vivid. Scatterplot. Scatterplot, the purpose to use Scatterplot is you have usually a bunch of data, very massive data, but you didn't see too much clear relationships or correlations between all your data. Then you want to use the scatter plot to give you some insights. So the purpose of to use the scatter plot, we have the first purpose is to see the distribution of my data, right? From this example, you can see almost all the data are calculated and accumulated in some very near correlation, but there's one special one, right? It's sitting just far from each other, which give us a little bit insight about the distribution of your data sets. But if your data looks like this, we call them, it gives you an insight about how the aggregation looks like through your data sets. You can almost draw a very strict line, right, between the two data sets, this one and this one. It gives you a very clear differentiation between the two sets. So maybe the two sets just representing you like the male or female or young guy or senior guy. So Scatterplot, and I said just give you a very clear understanding about your data, how they are distributed and how they are aggregated. But the disadvantage is sometimes even you put them together, right, in the chart, you still cannot tell the insights because they may not be able to just show the meaning through the two dimensions. So that's why when you use Scatterplot, you can, if you cannot reflect your purpose, you can just try some other charts to find the more meaningful insights. Radar chart. If you play online game, I believe radar chart is one of the best choice for you to represent the player's attributes, right? For example, like this, you want to just measure one of your player, like the football player or your fighters, right? You can just define the 5 measurements like their attitude, their technology, their defense, those kind of measurement, and use the radar chart to show which one is their advantage, which one is their disadvantage. It can clearly compare the different attributes of your key player. So it's a very useful chart, especially when you want to compare some fixed and some stable attributes on one of your key elements. The funnel chart. Funnel chart, if you are working in the web application, those kind of business, I think you cannot avoid to use the funnel chart. The funnel chart is the one help you to understand from step 1 how many numbers or how many users actually I lost. Then from step 2 to step 3, how many users or how many customers actually began to drop. So just let's take a shopping experience as an example. When you went to a e-commerce website, the first thing you will do is to do some navigation, right? You just search the product, you just go through the prices. Then you found something you prefer. Then you begin to add them into the shopping cart. But not everyone will do this. Someone will just navigate then leave, right? You want to know how many people I lost from the step of navigation to the step of really adding something to the shopping cart. But not everyone who puts something in the shopping cart will finally make the order, right? They may not want to buy today. They may not even want to buy in several days later. So the one who add your goods to the shopping cart compared to the one who make the final orders, also the number is different. So the funnel chart will help you to understand from level 1 to level 2 to level 3 what is the turnover ratio, right? It gives you a very clear understanding. So from this example, you can see product A and product B, they have the different ratio to turn the customer into the next phase. And we have another very good example like the tornado chart. You can just put the two different comparison category like the female or male. They may do the same behavior or following the same process to do the online ordering, but they have the different ratio from different phase to the next phase. So we can put them together and put one in the left and put one in the right to give you a more even, clear comparison between each other. Oh, tree chart. there are two types of tree chart. I call them the tree chart and or the tree map. Tree chart, the most common used scenario is like to represent the organization hierarchy, right? It's just like this. But my example is not about the organization hierarchy. It's about I want to know. I just organized one activity, right? But for this activity, I actually split them into several sub-activity to finish them. The market effect is different from the different sub-activity. I have the numbers to reflect all these sub-activities, and I want to just show that all these sub-activities can be put together, and finally the number will be representing and the overall completed effect. So this is a tree chart we want to use. All in all, we use the tree chart to show some hierarchy relationship, and you can even click the symbol like the minus or plus to extend or just shrink to the different level. Here's the tree map, and I just mentioned. Tree map is the one you want to give the audience a very direct comparison between the different sides of the component. Usually, all the components, put them together, they present your business as a whole, but you want to know which one is have the highest and have the most portion of your business. For example, I use this example just like I'm selling some goods, right, for the office usage. But from this page, you can easily find that paper is the best seller, right, from my goods list. And the next one could be the sticker, right? And then third one could be the telephone. Then you have a very clear understanding about which one sell the best. Sometimes you can just click into the sub rectangle and find the more details categories. But in a QuickBI, so far we don't support the next level extension. We only can show the first level. Conversion chart. Conversion chart is also a very common used chart and in the e-commerce business, because on the online website, right, you want to know after user click this page, where is the next page they are going to, and after they went to the next page, what is the next page they went to. So those kind of tracking of the page transition give you an insight about customers' behavior, and it helps you to understand how should I organize the pages more optimized and more user-oriented. Let's show you an example, right? Again, in the middle, we call them the anchor page. We call them the product details. But not everyone can go to the product detail page directly, right? Usually they come into the website through the different channel, right? Sometimes they saw some banner advertisement, and sometimes they just search from your front page, and sometimes they saw some other recommendation page. Here, then they go into the product details page by clicking on the different page. But after they navigate the product details page, they may go to order directly, and they may just want to write something down and to just comments on the product, and also may want to go to search some other product. So when we have all those data, we can just generate a conversion chart like this to give you a very direct view about where is each page is coming from and where is each page they are going to. Card. It's a very interesting name, right? We call them card because on this chart, we will just show the numbers. There's no too much lines or too much circles, but it definitely highlights the keyword or the key value you want to present. In this example, you can see on every day, I will highlight the new users, right? Every day there are some new users coming in. I will just show the numbers and the blue color here and make it very highlighted. And also we can just add some other metrics you want to check. By this way, you can just show your management. If they really care about this number, you can use a card to highlight them. Dashboard. If you have a car, you know what dashboard actually means, right? Use the dashboard, you can just highlight one exactly number. Definitely you use the dashboard to show the progress usually, right? You have a annual goal to meet, like the revenue number, but in the year in July or in August, you want to know where we are, right? You just use the dashboard to show this, like the for example, we have a revenue target like a 50,000 maybe dollars or MB. Now I already finished like $38,000 to give you a very clear progress about your revenue. And how many active users in the different province in China. The number is, if the number is bigger, we use a bigger bubble to present that province. So definitely the disadvantage of the bubble chart is that if the number is very similar and the picture is not big enough, they have a lot of overlap. But the color chart is better, right? We can use a deeper color to present the more users. So it's more clear and more vivid. The polar chart, comparing to the pie chart, we use the color chart to do the comparison. If you have some kind of a lot of measurements you want to compare, but you don't want to compare in a column chart, you can just use a polar chart. For polar chart, the angle of every measurement is the same, but the length of that triangle is different. You can also make it the sequence just like the ordered sequence. So here you can see different location. I give them the different length, so make it the chart looks very beautiful. Okay, the last one, the word cloud. What is the word cloud? Now you want to know which word is the most commonly searched keyword on my website, right? So you can just generate a word cloud, and it will automatically enlarge the biggest number of the word and show you the difference between each other and make it looks very vivid and colorful. So again, here the paper, sticker, telephone, just as I show in the tree map, right? I use the same original data and generate the word cloud. They'll give you a direct insight about which goods you are selling the best, or which goods it was searched by the customer the most. Okay, I have a little bit summary about when you are trying to do the different purpose of your data analysis. You can use the different kind of the chart to meet your requirements. You can just use this page and the cheat sheet next time when you try to choose your data type or your chart type. You can just use this as a reference. Okay, now let's do something real. I'm going to present you how to upload the data, generate the data set, and produce the dashboard you want. I will go to the browser. And I said, to be able to use QuickBI, you need to log into the alibabacloud.com. You have a valid Alibaba Cloud account, and you can always go here by clicking the QuickBI product, or you can just click here, like go to the data plus, go to here, right? They will show you the dashboard. For me, I already have all the data set up in the Hong Kong site. You can choose any of the site which is nearest to you. Now the good news is for the new users who is the first time to use QuickBI, you can apply for 30 days, 1 month free trial for both the basic and the pro version. So it's a very good chance to try this product out and use it and feel it. And I promise you will like it. Now I'm going to click on the Hong Kong region, and I will enter the QuickBI Pro. After you enter the whole portal, you will see there is a personal workspace here. By default, you can just use this one. Now you are in the workspace, right? On the left side, I show the step 1 we are going to do is from the data source. I want to import some original data, right, from some local file. Actually, you can click the create. Here you will see all the data types and the resource we support it, right? We have all this cloud database, external database, and even some Office, Excel, and CSV file. Here I'm going to do is just, for example, I will upload. You can choose one, any one of the files from the. Okay. I have some data here, right? You can just upload the traffic. Okay, now I'm loading this page, and you can refresh the page to show to check the status if they are done. Now it's sync completed. Here, to save the time, I already upload all the data I want to show into this course, but maybe due to the time limit, I can only do 3 or 4 examples. Now the next thing you want to do is, for every data source you uploaded, there's a button here. We call them create a data set, right? You can click any of them to based on that original data to create your data set. But I already have all the data sets created here, so I will go to the data sets category directly. My data sets. Every data set is actually generated by clicking that button, and they will begin to generate the data set here. The purpose to generate the data set is to separate the original file with your logic data. Then you can manipulate your data by editing the table online. I have so many tables and data, so I will give you a quick example. Now let's generate a dashboard. I don't have any dashboard here, right? I'm going to generate some of the examples. But let's start from, how about a line chart, right? Let's generate a line chart. I will use the traffic, the first data set, the traffic indicator. Here, I will show you what original data looks like. Okay, now you can see in my this way. This is my original data. It includes all the date and the dimension and all the different numbers we tracked for the different measurement. It looks not so meaningful. You cannot tell the trend, right, based on the date. So we will use this original data to generate the dashboard. Okay, let's generate the first one. Just here, the button, create dashboard. It takes a little bit of time. Okay, now we are on the dashboard generation page. You can delete the original one. And The one we want to generate is, we call them the line chart, right? You can just click here, double click the line chart here. They are telling you that there's no dimension or measurement has been added. Now from the right side, you see we have a dimension already listed here, and we have the measurement, all the measurement here. You can just do this by double click the date and double click the page view. Now you have the first line chart generated. Well, it's very quick, right? You may want to adjust it like this one. I want to have another one. Okay, let's have another one. I can put them together, right? It looks better. But you need to define the measurement, and let's choose another one. We call them a set wheel, right? Okay, now it's so quick because the QuickBI can get your original data and found out which one should be the dimension and which one should be the measurement. And if you are not quite satisfied with the auto decision made by the QuickBI, you can do the edit and go to the table and change the dimension and the matrix measurement as you want. And for changing the type, the style of the chart, you can go to the style and you can just do this way, like fill. You can give the different view, right? You can use also you can change the name, like the traffic indicator, right? You can change the name here. It will give you this will give you a very quick understanding about what the line chart looks like. Here is the table, right? You can just click the gear button here and you can change the dimension type. You can just like this, convert to dimension, right? You can change the measurement and dimension. It's based on your own decision. Now let's do another one. Well, we call them let's do a very interesting one. Let's generate a conversion chart here. For the conversion chart, I'm using the data source 04, so I'm going to show you what 04 looks like. Here is the original data. Okay, to give you the understanding about what the original data will look like, right? We need to define the three key pages, the previous page, current page, and the next page. And we give them the values we collected from our daily collection, right? And now we can use this original data to generate the chart we want. But the first thing we need to do is to change this a little bit, like we want to change all the dimensions to measurement. Right, and we can save it. Then from here you can refresh. You can see now we have all the measurement and don't have any dimensions anymore. What we need to generate is a conversion table. We will delete the first one, right? Okay. Okay, let's do this way. Sorry. Seems I shouldn't. Sorry, I shouldn't change them back. This one is a little bit tricky. Okay, now let's do this. You just add them all. And you can just refresh. Okay, now you get one convention chart. It gives you very clearly about where the page is coming from and where the user is going to. Okay, I think due to the time limit, I will only demo these two kind of charts, but I believe it gives you a very basic idea about how to use QuickBI to generate the dashboard. So when I click the dashboard here, okay, I forgot one key stuff. Let's save. Right, when you generate the dashboard, you need to conversion chart. Just save it, and you will find it from the dashboard. And the last one is, again, when you have your dashboard, the first thing you need to do is to public it, right? You can just click here to make it public. And you can give it a time here, make it public. Now you have a URL, right? The URL, you can copy it to the clips and go here. Then you can visit your dashboard from anywhere. Okay, I think this can be the end of my presentation. And now let's go to the Q&A session. Let's see what we have from online. Okay, the first question is, does this product run standalone, or do I need to spin up a cloud server to host it? Actually, I don't think we have a standalone version for the QuickBI. You don't need to spin up any cloud server. It's all portal based. You can just go to the Alibaba Cloud portal and register a cloud account. When you click the QuickBI product, it will bring you to the website, Alibaba to the QuickBI portal. And I just mentioned and demonstrated all the things is happening in the browser, right? So you don't need to have a standalone cloud server. Another question is about what sort of technical requirements does this QuickBI product have? Can I give it to anyone in my team to use, or do they need to be able to use Python or equivalent to generate these graphs you share? Yeah, that's a key highlights we want to show is that by using QuickBI, you don't even need to write any code. Needless to say, Python or something else. You just also you just need to know how to drag and put, and I just mentioned in the presentation. Maybe the key concepts you want your team members to master is what the different type of the chart actually present referring to, right? The pie, in what situation pie chart is a good choice, in what situation maybe the radar chart is a good choice. And you need your team members to be able to decide what kind of data I want to put in a dimension and what is the measurement I want to look into. So it's all about your business intelligence. It's not about the programming. We want to save your technical obstacles and gain the business intelligence immediately. Okay, so due to the time limit, I may answer the questions here. And the last thing I want to promote is we have the webinar program running every month, and you can always go to here, resources, right? Webinar to find our most popular webinars and the most incoming sessions. Since I'm coming from the training team, I want to promote one of our online courses. Also, you can always go to the support and click the training and the certification link, and they will lead you to this page. Now, the most popular and the most hot online courses we are offering, we call them the Cloud Technical Certificate. We do have one cloud is actually for free if you really want to gain some online certificate very soon and very quickly. You can try those clouders. And the other clouders is also very cheap. It's only cost you like $10, and you can learn one of the particularly technical skills by learning those online certificate. Okay, thank you very much. I think this is end of my today's presentation, and thank you everyone for watching and stay with me, and looking forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye.